The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
To another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and I'm coming to you from my YouTube channel today. I usually do my audio podcast, but I needed to put this video today because a lot of people have not been talking about something that's happening in wrestling, and they pretty much is just like, oh, whatever. And it's the Bullet Club situation. Now, this week, I think it was sometime Tuesday, Tama Tonga put in Tama's Island podcast of the situation with, what Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows and Kenny Omega did about their attempt to use Bullet Club in Impact Wrestling and AEW. Now, I could go down and talk about the history of Bullet Club. We all know the history of Bullet Club, but the thing that got me right now saying, you know what? They are doing things that you're just making things worse for AEW. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, first of all, Bullet Club is in Japan. And for years, WWE tried to make a so-called Bullet Club version in WWE. They started with the first one was the Club. And then they did the Balor Club. Then after the Balor Club, they did the OC Club, or the original club. And WWE attempted so many ways to do a version of Bullet Club, but they couldn't use the name Bullet Club because supposedly, back then, that was a Bullet Club trademark. Now, everybody knew that Bullet Club was in Japan and Bullet Club was the thing in Japan. Then later on, when the Elite decided to leave Bullet Club and go on their own, people were like, oh, the Bullet Club in Japan is now dull because the Elite is not in it. But let's be realistic. Upon hearing several Tama Tonga's Island podcasts and what he said about the Elite using Bullet Club as a launching pad to pretty much be where they're at right now. Let's be realistic. So, back in 2016, when Kenny Omega took out AJ Styles out of the Bullet Club leadership, when he became the leader, so-called leader of the Bullet Club and whatnot, he didn't care about Bullet Club. His mindset was on another thing, which, it's all cool if you're trying to think about your career and you don't care about no group or whatever. But if that was your mindset, it wasn't one for one, one for all, then he should have never been the leader of Bullet Club. Of course, we could bring the Young Bucks in there because the Young Bucks then decided, and Kenny Omega, to create the Elite, which when I first saw it, I was very skeptical about it. I was like, why are they doing another faction called the Elite? And then I remember reading an article back in January of 2016 when Omega said, oh, Bullet Club is just a little thing. I really don't care about that. My mindset is in the Elite, blah, blah, blah. And his mindset was to change the wrestling business. That was his mindset. Now, there's nothing wrong with a wrestler trying to change the wrestling business, but when you use others to launch your agenda, especially when it came to Bullet Club, you're being an a-hole about it, So, now, during that time from 2016 to 2018, pretty much Cody Rhodes, Adam Cole, the Villain, Hangman Page, the Young Bucks, Omega, pretty much used the Bullet Club as a launching pad. So there's Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor worked with New Japan. New Japan was cool about it, and they were like, okay, we're cool, we're going to make money, we're going to make merchandise, and the whole Elite group ran with that. Meanwhile, everything was going on with the All In. That was something that pretty much, that was done by Cody and the Young Bucks, they never invited the original Bullet Club to be part of that. I don't remember seeing any member from the Bullet Club in there. No Bad Luck Fale, no Tama Tonga, no Tonga Loa, any of those guys being part of that. I don't recall. I mean, and pretty much you knew something was up when the Tongans were pretty much just the factions only in Japan, and the factions didn't look that great. It looked dull because the elite, that group, was taking over the whole thing. So now you look at it now, and pretty much after the San Francisco massacre, which I call the 2018, when the firing squad, along with the Gorillas and Destiny and their father Haku, took out the whole elite group and kicked them out of the Bullet Club. So here we are 3 years later. Bullet Club is doing their thing. They were dominant most of last year, even though the pandemic was doing their thing. You know, it's doing the devastation in professional wrestling. They still were the faction that were doing a lot of noise in Japan. So now let's forward now to December 2nd. Winter is coming. That's when Kenny Omega decided not decided, but he won the AEW title away from Moxley. Someone in Kenny Omega's head, he decided it was cool for him to do the Bullet Club angle. And Tony Khan mentioned it in an article where he said that it was Kenny Omega's idea to bring in the Good Brothers and have them work with Impact. But here's what Kenny Omega did wrong when he started doing the Bullet Club for life. Omega hasn't been a Bullet Club member since 2018. It's been 3 years. The Good Brothers hasn't been Bullet Club member since 2015 or 2016 when they left to WWE. So Young Bucks, same thing, 3 years. So how is it that they were attempting to put that Bullet Club in Impact as a reunion? It's not a reunion. So now you're probably wondering, why am I talking about it? Because it pisses me off in a way, because now what I'm looking at it as, why is Kenny Omega, even though he's the EVP of All Elite Wrestling, will go and try to use Bullet Club? And it just stirred the pot, because last Saturday they came out Hard to Kill. Now, mind you that Carl Anderson came out with a hoodie with it says Bullet Club for Life on it, with a BC logo on the right hand side of the sweatpants, or not sweatpants, I'm sorry, the hoodie. Kenny Omega came out with a Halloween pumpkin Bullet Club that's been like how many years, God knows what. And then Gallows spent money on an all Bullet Club ring gear. It didn't make no sense. And now, as the week has passed since that time, there was articles between Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, which they claimed they were trying to trademark Bullet Club on the down low. But that New Japan had just trademarked it not long ago. So that meant the Bullet Club logo was out there for months, for almost years, and nobody tried to trademark it. But then again, look at the dirty tactics that Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows were trying to do. We're trying to trademark Bullet Club on a down low without members of New Japan faction, all New Japan, knowing they were going to try to trademark it. They even admitted they tried to do it a bootleg way, which is horrible. In my heart, I feel that it's probably a work that they're doing, and the reason I said that, because I saw an Instagram picture of Carl Anderson and Tama Tonga liked it. So I don't know if this is a work, but the Tama Tonga sounded like it was not a work. He even went as far as to say, calling out WWE if WWE wanted to work with New Japan, and if they would take care of their boys, the Bullet Club. That would not be good at all. Because if you think about it, this would not be good for AEW if WWE decides, which I doubt it very much, because McMahon he's not too bright. Maybe if McMahon wasn't there, maybe Triple H would take the offer. But that would be crazy if WWE decides to work with New Japan. That will be over for every single promotion in the United States. WWE will be so powerful that it will be bad for every promotion. Ring of Honor. I mean, they even said something about AAA. Tama Tonga said even AAA. Not AAA, I'm sorry, CMML. The CMML, WWE, and New Japan get together to work together. That will be over for AEW. All because of Kenny Omega's fault. Because Kenny Omega wants to change the wrestling world. How are you changing it? The thing is with Kenny Omega, he's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong. But why would you pull that card? For what? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the storyline that's going on. It's like an Infinity Gauntlet. He's like the Thanos of wrestling. But now you pushing buttons in another promotion. And if this is a bait of you trying to work with New Japan and AEW, it's not working. Because you're pissing off one member of Bullet Club who's an OG. And I agree with Tama Tonga. He said that fans were like, oh, but he's an OG. Whoever's saying that is just not too bright. They haven't been Bullet Club members for over 4 to 5 years. They got no say-so in Bullet Club. Meanwhile, you got guys like Tashi Ishimori and Phantasmo, Evil, Tokyo Pimp, who's probably consider him an OG, Balak Fale, Chase Owens. I could go on. They doing all the work with that Bullet Club label on them. And meanwhile, here comes Kenny Omega talking about coming with an idea to use that. Why? Are you trying to stir the pot? You're making a lot of enemies, brother. And it's bad enough Tama Tonga does not like you. Probably in real life. Who knows? Because the attempt that Kenny Omega tried to do with this hard to kill thing, when they all came on Bullet Club, I was watching this pay-per-view and I was like, what the hell? And he was funny because I hit him up with that. What do you think about that, Tama Tonga? But he was in the air heading to New Japan. So, and now he went Tuesday and he pretty much called them out. Another topic that I want to bring up real quick that nobody's talking about is the Michael Elgin situation. Michael Elgin, who got fired by Impact because of some situation, he was sending new pictures or text messages to another female during the Speak Out movement last summer. For his excuse, he went and claimed that Tama Tonga is a dangerous wrestler in the ring. He got hit with a plastic chair and claims that Tama Tonga hit him with the plastic chair and that his bicep got torn. Meanwhile, he already had taped on that arm when that happened, and this was in 2017. So he's looking for excuses of, why New Japan don't want to bring him back. But Tama Tonga, of course, brought in the truth, and the truth was that Michael Elgin had asked for time off from New Japan because he wanted to come home and see his kids. But then a couple of weeks later, he showed up at Impact. And then a couple of weeks later after that, showed up at the rival promotion, All Japan Pro Wrestling. And New Japan was like, what the hell? He thought that nobody was going to record him, that New Japan was not going to find out. And pretty much, New Japan fired him. But see, he never said that. And this is why one of the reasons I think that when he came back to Impact, he was like, he didn't care about going back to New Japan. And it was because he got caught. He got caught saying that he wanted to go home to his kid because it was too much. But he got caught in the rival promotion. Wrestling on the rival promotion while you still under contract on New Japan. And Michael Elgin is I got no other word but a dumbass. Because you forget that in this day and age, there's social media. There's a lot of wrestling collectors out there. They will want to watch. They watch everything, and you popped out. And now you coming out of nowhere, calling out Tama Tonga, and the reason Tama Tonga got pushed is because his father is Haku or Ming or whatever you want to call him. But his story has been told that this man went through the New Japan dojo. So how he got pushed if he went through the New Japan dojo? So it just shows you that some of these wrestlers right now who got caught in this Speak Out movement are looking for every excuse for fans to forgive them. Same thing with Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan won some, I don't know if it was a settlement, but I know he had a little victory because the person who had him in court, never showed up after they subpoenaed the person. That person never showed up. So it's a little win for him. It's not that he's out of it yet. But it's crazy that nobody's talking about this. No one in the podcast and wrestling community podcast is not talking about the situation with Bullet Club. I had one guy when I said that I will only support the Bullet Club from Japan, and the a-hole in Twitter decided to make a comment but yet block me. So I didn't really get to read the whole thing. But people are sensitive. When you bring out the truth, and when and you got these super fans who, no matter what you tell them about their favorite wrestlers, they act like, oh, that's not true. Oh, you know what you're talking about. You know, you a mark. No, because it's the truth. The truth is the truth. Just like Matt Hardy says, the truth is the truth. So, you know, Kenny Omega, I believe this is just my opinion, that he's using all this to bait New Japan to work with AEW. This may backfire. This could be, I mean, they could go to Ghetto and talk to the New Japan guys, the top guys, to work with WWE. If that is to happen, I don't know what to say, because, you know, you got Ring of Honor still struggling, trying to make moves. NWA still trying to make moves. And the best way to do it is to work together. Yes, Kenny Omega came up with the idea, according to Tony Khan, to work with Impact. But, you know, but look at the way he's doing it. If that's the way you're stirring the pot to make the wrestling business better, I mean, it's kind of dangerous. You're playing with fire. Again, I don't know if it's a work. I don't know if all this podcasting is to have people wondering, oh, what's going to be next? Oh, this and this and that. I mean, the fact that Tama Tonga even mentioned, hey, Triple H, Vince, I don't have a beef with you. We could work together. That brought a flag up for me. And no one is talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I read this in a dirt sheet. I heard it straight from the man's mouth in Thomas Island podcast. He called out WWE and said, let's work together. And if it's that to happen, AEW will be in trouble. Because, I mean, WWE has a collection of talent in there that they could make a lot of things happen. And yet AEW, you give too much. Tony Khan's giving too much power to Kenny Omega. These guys are they're playing with fire, the way I see it. And this may backfire on AEW. So, I don't know. But let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if what Kenny Omega is doing is right. Do you think Tama Tonga got actually a right to talk about, the Anderson and Gallows are not Bullet Club members no more, even though they claim that it's for life. But is it for life, or is it Kenny Omega? They don't like Kenny Omega for what they try to do. I mean, I agree with them because they did use Bullet Club from 16 to 18 to up their merchandise, to make money, and now they got, All Elite Wrestling. And if you think about it, is Omega probably saying to himself, well, I created the Elite, but the Elite didn't become as popular as Bullet Club. Bullet Club's been around since 2013, and they're still going strong, going for the 8th year in May. They probably they passed NWO, because NWO was from 1996 to 2000, and then they tried to resurrect it back in 2002. Didn't work. So 6 years, they just passed NWO. They're the second longest faction, because the Four Horsemen was around from 86 to 2000 to 1998. So that's 12 years. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Hit my comments up. Let me know what you guys think. Once again, I want to thank all of y'all for listening to me. And but this is something no one is talking about. No one is talking about this, and I want to be the first one to talk about it. Let me know what you think. Leave me your comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Hit that notification bell for every new upload. I'm only three subscribers left to hit the 100 subscribers. So, share this with your friends and your pals. Let them know about the Chokeslam Wrestling Report on my YouTube channel. I also have a the audio podcast, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report on Apple, Spotify, what else? Apple, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. I just joined the WrestlingJoners.com podcast network, which you guys will see in the beginning of this video. I also have my merchandise website. It's called the TCWR. Again, that's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. So check that website. You'll be able to see this YouTube channel. You'll be able to hit, if you hit the big logo on the website with the audio Choke Wrestling Report podcast there, you could click it and it will open right away. You see the shirts, the hats. Check it out, guys. So I'm everywhere now. So the brand is getting bigger, better. So again, I just joined the WrestlingJoners.com podcast network. So that's something to look forward to. See where that goes. We're trying to expand our brand, just mine, but Joners also. So a lot of big things coming for 2021 for the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Again, thank you very much for listening. Again, check it out. I'll see you guys soon. Let me know what you think about this video and the fact that Kenny Omega is stirring the pot, maybe to bait New Japan Pro Wrestling to work with AEW, and maybe a war going on between these three guys against the Bullet Club. I know already Tama Tonga said he would not show up at AEW, but I think it could be a work. Who knows? But at the end of the day, there's money to be made in wrestling. So until then, guys, be safe. Stay away from each other 6 feet apart. Wear that mask. And God bless.